Welcome back to Kings of Influence. I am one half of your hosting team, Ray William Johnson.
And sitting 180 degrees across the table, I am the other half, Epic Lloyd. We're here every Wednesday at noon California time, and thanks for joining us. If you're new to the podcast or the live stream, and you'd like to get a notification about when we're about to go live, you can go ahead and text the word Kings to the number 43506, and then we'll send you one text every week when we're about to go live, just so we can stay in touch and so you don't miss us. So
That's
hi.
right. You had a story you wanted to tell.
Oh yeah, I had a run-in with Mother Nature.
Okay.
I had an encounter, a wild life encounter in the middle of Los Angeles. Okay, let me set it up.
All right.
I'm out for a beautiful dinner with my wife where we have an enchanting time. We come home, it's maybe 10:30. We let the dogs out, and the dogs go crazy. They go running into the back of the house, and like right behind this part is like a little space between the fence and this building. So it's like it looks like a little hallway, but it's outside.
Okay.
And the dogs go tearing around there, and then they're just going at it. Rah, 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 rah. So Josie's like, "Go check that out." So I guess I have to do it.
Yeah.
So I go. I grab. What did I grab? I grab like a wiffle ball bat or something.
Of course.
And I go walking behind there, and I turn around and I see this little thing on the ground, and I see the dogs are both in front of it, and I walk up to it, and it's a dead possum. And I'm like, "Oh, gross!" It's like kind of like it's like lying there, and it's like you could see like the skin is kind of caved in a little
Okay.
bit from whatever, and the dogs are going nuts. So I like get him back, and it's like so late, and I'm a little bit drunk, so I'm like, I'm gonna take care of this in the morning, whatever. So I go back inside, wake up the next morning, and I go back out there, and I get like a trash bag, and I'm like ready, and I go walk back out there, and the shit is gone, and I'm like, what animal, like, did a coyote come back here and like, or did like a cat come and like grab this possum or whatever, or like a, I don't know, like maybe an owl or something? And I'm like thinking to myself, and then I'm like, that motherfucker was playing
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
I got duped. I got so duped by a possum. It worked. It like, I like went inside, and then I went inside and I immediately looked it up. Like I was like, is that a rumor? Do they really not do that? They totally do it. And I have all this new information now about possums and what they do. So they, when they play dead, it's an involuntary response. So they almost like faint.
Yeah, it's like the goats that faint or whatever.
Yeah.
Or the sheep. I guess it's sheep that faint.
Goats.
Is it
Fainting
goats?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like but they faint, and then their mouths open up. They even foam at the mouth. They emit a like pheromone that smells like dead flesh, and they suck their body. And that was the thing that sold me, was it looked like his body was started to like rigor mortis or whatever. Uh, and then it fooled the dogs too, because they didn't attack it. They just like kind of were like sniffing it and stuff. So sure enough, I also found out that they have double-headed penises and two vagina holes. It's like a plug going into a plug slot.
I'm sorry. Do what now?
Yeah. They have bihedal or bi something penises, and bi like two slots and two heads when they have sex. So it's like a plug into a socket without the grounding.
What is the utility of that sort of
I don't know.
genitals?
A lot of marsupials have that. Like hyenas have that, and like other, I think maybe like you lock in better or something. I don't know. Maybe it feels twice as nice.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
You say 2 shots for the price of 1.
Hey, there you go.
Wow. Well, that second part of that story totally threw me off.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I didn't either, man. I went out there, I was like, because I got nervous for a second. I was like, something bigger, because this possum was full grown. So it's like something bigger than this possum carried it away. I was like, fuck, what is that? Shit, what is that? What is that? Like a hawk?
Like a
they don't-
coyote or something? Yeah.
Coyote. But we have a fence around our whole yard. So, I mean, opossums, they kind of climb and stuff. But I bet you he's living under my house or something. How do you get one of those things? Because I have rat traps, but that's too big.
Oh, I don't know, man. You have to look that up.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with gophers right now.
Like Caddyshack style?
Yeah. Well, I mean, these guys these guys are they're essentially blind, and apparently they eat on the roots of the vegetation, including your lawn. So it's like tearing up my lawn. I can see all these little like sort of they're almost like anthill mounds,
Yeah.
like cartoony anthill mounds, and there's like another one every day, and it keeps happening. So my gardener comes by once a week. This is so relatable, guys. You know, like when your gardener comes by. So my gardener comes by once a week, and I'm like, "Hey, man, you know a lot about this. Are these like gophers or what's happening?" And he's like, "Yeah, they're gophers. I can take care of them." And he goes back to his truck and he comes out and he's got like this bag full of poison.
Oh God.
I know. And I remember the gopher from Caddyshack. And I remember how
Is that
like
little
an
dance?
adorable little puppet. And I was like, I totally blamed it on Kelly. I was like, "Hey, man, the wife's not gonna let me kill these gophers like
Yeah.
that. She's not gonna let me poison them.
Yeah.
She's too nice." I was really talking about me.
Well, you poison one, and I think the way it works is, well, at least with ants and stuff, they poison each other. Then one of them poisons the next one, and
I don't know if it works like
I
that
don't
with
like it works like
gophers.
that with gophers.
So what you're saying is it's the first gopher's fault
Yeah,
that all of them
it's a
die?
chain reaction. Either that, or it's like the mother gopher eats it, and she's got babies at home, and then they starve. What a slow diet! That's an awful way to go.
Yeah, well, yes. And so I came up with this idea to search the internet because I'm so brilliant. And there are these like sonic, they're almost like I forget what they're called, but you put your like a golf tee. It's like a fat golf tee,
Yeah,
and they emit like they're solar powered, and they emit like these sonic vibrations and
like those
stuff.
thumper things in Dune.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I ordered them off Amazon and I stuck them in the ground, and like my front lawn is now vibrating like your cell phone would in your pocket to get rid of these fucking gophers.
Do you think it works?
I don't know yet. I'm only 2 days in.
Oh, okay.
I'll know if the holes stop appearing.
To be continued.
Yeah, right.
Our run-ins with
I'm,
wildlife.
I'm on the edge of my
everybody.
seat here, but
I
yeah,
know.
I struggled with how to get rid of it as well.
Mm,
I'm like, man, I don't want to kill these things.
right. I got rats in my attic one time. I felt no sympathy about killing these
Yeah,
things.
I don't feel bad about killing rats either.
Yeah.
But something about these cute little these blind, I guess they're moles. I don't know the difference between a mole and a gopher.
I think there's like there's woodchucks. They got woodchucks. They got ground chucks. They got gophers. They got
They have air chucks.
no air chucks would be pretty great though.
Wow.
Sounds like a sneaker.
Yeah, air
Uh,
chucks.
but groundhogs and like ground squirrels are different. And I think they probably have ground squirrels out here. Prairie dogs, they call those.
Yeah,
They must have had those by you when you were growing up in
yeah,
Ohio.
yeah, yeah. Definitely, and they definitely had squirrels.
They're all cousins.
Well, if you guys haven't noticed, we are Katie-less today.
Oh yeah.
Katie is out of town for about a month, so she will be off the podcast. She'll be joining us when she gets back. But let's talk about your boy OJ Simpson.
My boy.
Your boy
What's going on with the juice?
OJ. He's been out of prison since 2017, and he made the news this week because he got a Twitter account.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
OJ.
Oh boy.
And I bet you he's gonna have 1 million followers
He
almost immediately.
he's got 750,000, and I mean this news is just a few days old. 750,000.
Yeah.
People are just following him. I don't really use Twitter all that. I mean, I have an account, but I don't really use Twitter all that much. And so I wouldn't follow, but even if I did, I wouldn't follow the guy.
Oh my gosh.
Although I don't know.
He's following you.
Yeah, imagine getting that notification. OJ Simpson is following you. Like, oh my God.
Killer walking around.
Right.
I mean, what is he tweeting? Do you have any of his tweets?
So I didn't have any pulled up, but he made a little tweet video announcing that he was on Twitter and that he quote has some getting even to do.
Ugh.
I don't know about this guy.
Ugh, gosh. Why not leave well enough alone?
I know.
I mean, did he use all of his money when he was fighting that case? Is he completely? I mean, I heard he
Yeah.
could like just sell a couple of pieces of memorabilia in prison and just be fine.
Well, apparently according to the Goldman family, he still hasn't paid off their all of their wrongful death lawsuit, which was for millions.
Right.
So I don't know if he's doing too well with money.
You could probably
I don't know.
find a way to make that take a long time. Like
Yeah.
paying the minimum balance on a credit card or something.
Well, especially if you don't have the money in your pocket
Or especially if
and
you
you're already
don't
in
want-
prison. What are they
or-
going to do?
Or if you don't want to admit guilt.
Right.
If you pay somebody off real quick, that's kind of like, why else would you do that?
Well, think about it. because they basically sued him, right, for a wrongful death lawsuit, and they won. So if someone sues you and you don't have the money, there's only so much they can do. And if you're already in prison, what more can they do?
Yeah.
Keep you in prison longer? So I don't know if they're ever going to get all that money. The dude's 71 years old.
Yeah. And probably has some of the best sleazeball accountants in the world that can find ways to just make that take forever to get your money.
I mean, assuming he can pay them.
I think he can. I really think he can.
You think he gets speaking fees and such?
I think, yeah, when you're a guy like that was, you write a book, an autobiography, you do an interview, plus he's got,
Ugh,
I'm sure he's got pieces of movies. They don't take that away from you.
that's
The
true.
Naked Gun is still the Naked Gun. And I don't know. I don't think football players got paid very well back then, but I think he's got his hand in just a ton of different businesses.
Yeah, he's probably getting residuals and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe he sells, maybe he's endorsing like leather gloves or something.
Yeah, sure.
Could be a thing.
Oy.
I think
Should we follow him?
I'm not going to follow the
We
guy.
should both follow him.
Maybe we should. Maybe everyone's just waiting on that confession tweet. All right, I did it.
I did it.
I did it. It was me.
I'm tweeting it to the world. I've got some payback to do. Is that what he said? Payback?
I got some getting even to do.
That just feels like the dumbest thing he could possibly say. His lawyers are like, OJ.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Don't stop it.
What are you doing?
You just got out of jail.
I think there's a couple of things going on with him. I think he likes being a celebrity.
Yeah.
I think he's had that life. He's had that life since he was probably in his teens.
Yeah.
A version of that life being a football star and all that. So I think there's part of it. So he wants that attention. And then there's another part of me that's like, and I also think he's a psychopath.
I do think he's guilty.
Yeah. I'm positive he's guilty.
Yeah. In a fit of rage, just and you think about that guy. Like all the new science that's coming in about CDT or whatever that brain traumatic disease is, we're getting
Right.
bashed around all the time. His symptoms are exactly that: fits of rage, blackouts, violence, all that stuff. He
Wow.
was a running back. That's like the most smashed on. I think he was a running back.
Yeah.
That's
think
who
so,
gets
too.
hit the most. Well, actually, like the linemen, I think, are really, really hit a lot. Anyway, but that guy is certainly a candidate for that, and that would explain a lot of that behavior. Not condone it, but it would explain it at least a little bit more.
Yeah, CTE, I think is what it's
CTE, yeah.
called.
Whatever, the Will Smith movie. I'm just gonna call that disease the
It's
Will
the
Smith.
Will Smith disease.
The Will Smith disease.
Getting CTE with it.
Yeah. Oh,
Jesus.
jeez.
Yeah, I kind of want him to get off Twitter and get out of public life. That's my verdict on it. Get
Yeah. Just get quiet. Quiet
The kings
down.
of influence have delivered a
Sorry, I just had
verdict.
to. Yeah, I just had to play the.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think he can. I think he's unlike a lot of other people. I don't think he's paid what he owes because he got off, and I think he was guilty.
Yeah,
If he had gone to, I mean, you can't really excuse murdering somebody, so maybe he should never be off. But even if he was to get, even if he murdered her, was convicted of it, served 30 years, and then got out, you have to be able to have a life of some sort, but it doesn't have to be on freaking social media, for crying out loud.
yeah.
I think you're right. He's addicted to that spotlight. He feels above other people. He feels like, I think he was like, I'm not black, I'm not white, I'm OJ. Like he feels above.
I think he's that guy.
Yeah. And yeah, it must be hard to come back down to land. Well, what was he in prison for? He assaulted somebody with a gun, or somebody stole some memorabilia from him. He confronted them in a hotel room.
Yeah, but it was like all part of some kind of shady deal he was doing or something like that. Some kind of
Yeah.
memorabilia scam
Yeah.
or something.
And then he got caught with a gun or something, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember what he went to jail for, but he got a really harsh sentence for that little thing, and people were saying it's sort of
Oh,
like
yeah. Payback.
yeah, it's payback because he got I think it was like 10 years or something ridiculous. He got more time than Paul Manafort did, who stole 25 million.
Well, they say that OJ was payback for the LA riots.
Yeah,
In a sense, where it was like, because the LA riots had just happened and all those cops got let off,
mm-hmm.
and then OJ was a huge case, and that was in the news, and it was now a black guy, And then when it was like, if we convict this guy, we just let off a bunch of white cops for obviously beating the shit out of a guy who's
Right.
black, and then we convict the black guy again. Like, there was, I'm not saying one makes it right or wrong, but that was definitely an element that was in the air for sure.
Yeah. Well, look, if you've got racial tensions going on in your neighborhood or your city, I don't think you want OJ to be your spokesman.
Yeah, no. But so many people were on his side, though.
Of course.
So many people had his back.
Tons of
and
people.
I think they still do to this point. Even, all the evidence that was mounted against him, and they show that one documentary. I mean, we shouldn't take this as gospel at all, but they do a lot of research, these TV shows and stuff, and they just show how botched the prosecution botched this case.
Yeah.
Making him wear the glove and all of these things, and I'm sure they added a little drama here and there, but it was eye-opening for sure.
And he had the best defense team around.
Ever assembled.
Yeah, like ever.
Ever assembled.
Whew.
Well,
listen to this. So, you remember the Parkland shooting?
yeah.
Yeah, of course. So there was a one of the shooting survivors is he's come out as like he's pro gun, because like a lot of the shooting survivors, they're sort of touring around and they're doing interviews and getting their face in magazines, and because they're the face of the youth anti-gun movement in the United
Right.
States, right? That's
Sure.
David Hogg and some of these guys. Well, one of them is trying to become the face of like the pro-gun movement.
Like they give teachers in high schools guns type of thing?
I think so. And just like we need more relaxed gun laws in the U.S. He's on that trip, which makes him a unique case. Well, anyway, he applied for Harvard and got in because apparently he had really high test scores and all that stuff. So recently, some old statements he made in a private Facebook group from 2 years ago surfaced, and it was like racist stuff and sexist stuff and anti-Semitic stuff that he had said, saying the N-word a lot. It was like a private group with him and his friends. I guess they were trying to outshock each other, that thing he was doing at 16, and Harvard rescinded his admission.
Yeah.
They said, no, nah, not gonna do it.
I hate to. It's like that's such a. It's hard. He's not a man yet,
I know.
But you're also got to be held responsible, and there is no, guys. FYI, there is no private chat room. Like, it's not a thing. Like, it's all exposable. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how or why that got exposed to Harvard, but
One of his scumbag
if you-
ex-friends.
yeah, if you find yourself typing these words, just don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, you can. But honestly, if the kid 16 is pretty old, to be throwing around those words and not mean them,
Right. I mean, it's old and it's young and it's old.
Yeah.
It's old enough to know better, but young enough to still make mistakes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a mistake you made, You didn't get into Harvard now.
I
that's
feel
how
kind of
you
bad
learn.
for him. He's on like an apology tour right now. He's going on the news and making his apologies and saying Harvard should have never kicked him out. And
Well, how did it get exposed? Is that one of his friends?
probably one of his friends. I mean, someone who had access to that private group.
Well, why would they do that unless he was an awful person to somebody and
Because-
deserved it?
Because his friends are, I mean, he's 18 years old now. His friends are probably 17, 18, and they're probably pricks too.
Right. But it says to me that he had something coming. Like, someone don't just do that out of
Maybe, but
plain
16-year-old
spite?
16-year-olds fight over dumb shit.
Yeah, or maybe somebody posted it like as a joke, or not as a joke, but like didn't like send it directly to Harvard, but like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
took a picture of somebody, or like took a screenshot of it and sent it, and then that surfaced somewhere. Yeah. Well, I mean, the fact that he's pro-gun and a survivor of Parkland is interesting.
Agreed.
I don't really fault him for that, to be honest. I think there's two ways you go in that situation, and those are the two ones that come out. You're either, let's get rid of all these guns, and I survived, or, geez, I wish I had a gun in that situation. I wish more people would have guns. And
Sure, but he's the odd man out in that scenario, especially considering his generation.
he's the, well, those kids were real vocal, the ones who came out against guns.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there were plenty. I'm sure there were a couple people in that group that didn't feel that way. Especially, like, was it Florida? Is that part
Yeah.
of Florida?
Yeah.
Like Florida's the South. The gun laws there are pretty loose. Um, I'm sure there were a segment of that population that feel the same way, and a segment of the parents too. I'm sure there was a segment of the parents that feel that way. I don't agree with that. I think that that's a little counterproductive, but I certainly understand the sentiment. Wanting to be able to protect yourself, wanting to be able to protect your daughter and your son in a school. I don't think kids should be having guns in school at all. But do we need a security guard? God, I don't know.
Yeah, most security guards don't have guns.
Yeah, I didn't have anything in my high school. Nothing.
We had a cop that patrolled around.
Yeah, I didn't have a cop.
You didn't have a cop?
We didn't,
One or two cops?
We didn't need a cop. No. Oh, my dog's leaving. Luna, come here. My dog's in the room.
Yeah, I actually kind of feel bad for the kid.
Do you?
Yeah, because like I feel bad for him because he was, 16, being a dumbass with his friends, trying to like shock his, I guess they're like trying to outshock each other with what they can say.
Why do you say that?
How shocking? Because that's what he claimed.
Okay.
He's like that was the goal. I'm going to say the most shocking thing ever. So it's just like a thread of really horrible things being said by the entire group.
And is it a single case? Is it one isolated case?
I mean, I think it's one isolated case of him saying it a lot.
But one, it's not like several conversations over the course of several days.
I think it was one. Yeah, I think it was one thread. I think I didn't read all of it. I think it was one thread though.
So like, hey, let's play a game. Who can be the most racist and offensive?
Yeah, probably something like that. Maybe those words weren't uttered, but regardless,
that's the claim.
he did it. Yeah, that's his claim, and I think there's some validity to that.
Sure.
I think there's some validity to like, hey man, we were goofing around. It was private. We were in a private conversation because I have trouble with people getting sort of reprimanded for things that they say in private, even though it was on the internet and it was in a group.
I don't know. I think that's like the grab her by the pussy thing. Like that's private, but that's just a window into what that person is.
I get it, but this kid's not president.
No.
And if Trump had said that stuff when he was 16, I might be like, all right. But he said it when he was like, I don't know, it was a decade ago, so when he was like 90.
Yeah.
Or however the fuck old he is. He was like 50 when he said it.
I think though, but like, I don't know. It's not the end of the world for him. Harvard is the best school in the country, arguably. Like,
Yeah.
maybe he'll get into someplace else, or maybe he'll get in later, or maybe you just don't get to go to Harvard if that's what you say. What if that kid's taken some other kid who, instead of doing that awful chain, was like donating and helping the homeless on the weekends, and he took that kid's spot. Now that kid gets to go. Like, I feel like there's just better.
You can do both. You can say the N-word and give the homeless. I see your point, and Harvard has been known to do this to others in the past when things surface. And I think a solid argument to be made is like, you want to say like, well, look, you're judging him for things he did when he was a teenager, but the entire point of college admissions is to judge what people do when they're teenagers.
Yeah.
So I think that's a solid argument.
That's my argument.
Yeah.
I want to make that argument.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, he'll have to suffer through being let into Yale.
Ugh. Oh, the horror.
Actually, though, that's probably the worst thing is like the kid. It's not like you can quietly get rescinded from Harvard. He like made us think about it, and then all the other schools are going to hear about it, and now nobody can let him in.
Yeah,
except
that's
for
true.
UMass Amherst.
He's gonna look. His test scores are apparently really high,
Yeah, but
and so he's gonna get into somewhere really good.
I don't know. It's more maybe I don't know. My test scores were not good enough to get me into too many really good schools, so I don't know how that works. If it's only your test scores or what else you do. I wonder what else the kid does.
I mean, he survived Parkland. That's a thing.
That is
apparently.
That is a thing.
I think he'll be fine. I think it just sucks that he's going through it right now, and he's 18, and so it's probably a lot to deal with. And his parents are probably, if his parents are decent human beings at all, they're probably looking at him going, "You idiot,
you moron,
what are you doing?
Get
What?
the switch."
Why would you do that? Like, why would you?
Yeah.
Why would you say those things in writing?
Yeah, somebody who's so smart to get into Harvard to make such a dumbass mistake. Yeah. Well, I'm sure he'll survive.
He'll be fine.
He's gonna be fine. Is he a white kid?
Yeah,
He's gonna be just fine, I think.
because he's a white kid.
No, but I mean, like, if it would be a different thing if it was a minority who had done these things rather than a white kid, because you know, the white privilege in this country makes it just changes the dynamic if it was like a Chinese kid or a Japanese kid. I don't think Harvard would have reacted any differently,
Yeah.
but I think the general view of it would have been skewed a little bit.
Well,
Neither here nor there.
I don't know. I think he'll be fine because he's a really bright kid.
Yeah, hopefully. And you know what? Maybe this is what he needs to learn from. You know what I mean?
He should.
I mean, these are the things that, like, you get. That is eye opening. I bet he'll never do that again. You know what I mean? Like, what?
Yeah.
What are you, crazy? You just threw a gigantic opportunity away. But he's also pro gun, which
Well, that wouldn't have been very fun going to Harvard being that vocally pro gun.
Yeah.
Harvard's a very left school, so
yeah.
that wouldn't have been fun for him.
But there are a lot of people who are not, like, there are a lot of minorities who are very pro gun.
Yeah.
Especially like in Texas, and I mean, I think the Latino community is very pro gun in like the South and stuff. That's not that
Yeah.
the NRA is not just a white dude.
Yeah, but not at Harvard.
Not Harvard.
Not like in the Harvard freshman class.
not the
That's going to
Ivy
be
League.
very, very left.
Yeah, sure.
Very left and very vocally left.
Sure. Agreed.
But also one of the other, just a caveat, one of the other survivors, David Hogg, is actually going to Harvard. He actually did get in.
Yeah, and I bet you his work.
His test scores were lower than
Right.
this guy.
But that's a perfect example of the things that guy did after the shooting at Parkland speak to his character. And like, wow, this kid really has. I mean, if Harvard is a place that presidents go, like this kid being vocal and political and all of these things right now, like that speaks higher to me than test scores.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed, but I'm not the kind of person who weighs test scores very heavily.
Me neither. I think the test scores are so antiquated. It's like you're
Yeah.
only testing on one very specific thing. Like you never like I bet you if you asked me an SAT question, I would fail. But if you put me up against a kid who got a perfect SAT score and we both looked at the same person and said, "What's that person feeling right now?" I would crush almost all of them. Like just that type of intelligence. Or what's that person saying without talking right now?
Like
Or
emotional intelligence. What you're saying.
emotional intelligence, like human interaction intelligence, like intuition, things like that. I feel like very hard to test for, but super valuable.
So if you handed me a test, I might fail. But if you pointed at a random guy on the street and you said, "How much does that guy weigh?"
Put him in the White House.
I'd
Put that guy in the White House.
I'd say about $1.58.
No, but like
I'd nail it.
That type of situation, that type of intelligence comes into play when you're like, okay, it's super tense in this room, and we need it not to be tense in this room.
Yeah.
A la, business deal, political interaction, something like that. We need to be able to communicate as a group here and not kill each other, like verbally. How do you help that rather than send that in the wrong direction? That is a skill. And some people are just so dumb when it comes to that. You'll be in the room with them, you'll be like, "Are you kidding me right now? Like, did you have to just say, 'No, it's not,' again after he said, 'Yes, it is'? Like, are you you know what I mean? Like, that type of thing is crazy.
That's great. You're bad at comebacks. No, you're bad at comebacks.
No, you're better at comebacks. All right.
Can't pass a
Jeez.
test, but I can tell you how to make your cat a happier cat.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good skill. Sometimes, what if we get overrun by cats?
I'll be the cat herder.
You're the cat herder.
That's what I'll be.
The cat hunter.
Herder.
Oh,
I will. I won't hunt them.
You'll like the Pied Piper with rats, just with cats.
I will hunt them. We will hunt together. You see. Wow. I think it's about that time.
Is it?
Stoner thoughts.
Yeah. All right. So, guys, you know what Stoner Thoughts is. It's kind of like Shower Thoughts. We find a couple of these things on the internet, and we post them, we talk about them, and you can join us in the chat if you'd like. Although Katie isn't here to read your replies, maybe we can get some.
Yeah, and I have one. I think it might be. I don't know if we did it before, but I got one.
You want to go first?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, here we go.
Stoner thoughts.
Talk is cheap, unless you're roaming.
Ah. Aha.
There you go. Eh, that little put 'em.
Yeah. That's right. Roaming. I get it. I get that reference because roaming costs money.
That's correct, sir.
I get it.
Gotcha.
Stoner thoughts.
Your childhood ended when you started thinking about what other people think.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Deep.
Yeah. Right? You stopped being a kid when you started getting self-conscious.
God, I think I stopped being a kid real early then.
Yeah, probably
Real
me too.
early.
Probably me too. I mean, if you
Because-
had siblings,
Yeah.
you started because your siblings would be the first people to tease you.
Tease you, make fun of you,
Yeah.
or do something that you or the other way where you want to be like them. My childhood ended in 2nd grade, dude. I've been a man a long time.
Wow. Mine ended when I got molested.
What?
Whoa.
What?
No. No, that didn't happen. I can remember being self-conscious. Actually, I probably wasn't self-conscious until later, till like 7th or 8th grade.
Self-conscious or or caring what someone thinks, because that's different, right? Like if you want a girl to like you, does that mean you're self-conscious?
Yeah, I don't know. I just remember the switch happening, and I think it was 7th or 8th grade.
Yeah.
I remember being like, "Oh, I have to pay attention to like what brand of clothes I wear, and that stuff that matters because people are not gonna like me."
I remember that, and in 7th grade was a very like pivotal time for me because I moved to a new school,
Yeah, same.
and the school where I was from was a tiny cow town, and I'd been there my whole life, and I was like king shit, you know. There was like all my friends, and that was it. And then I moved to this new town, much bigger, much more like diverse economically, and all of a sudden there was all these clothing brands that I was supposed to wear instead of my Zayre's brand.
Yeah,
you know,
instead of my Wrangler jeans.
Yeah, and it was like, whoa, what is all these things? And I remember thinking that was a ding to my confidence for sure for
Yeah.
a little bit, but I recovered.
and I was never self-conscious again.
I'm probably more self-conscious now than I ever was in high school. Wow.
You think so?
Way more.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm better now than I've ever been. I'm less self-conscious now than I've ever been.
That's good.
I just have way more confidence now, but maybe that comes with age, or I'm just like I'm not trying to date, so you just stop thinking about certain things.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know.
Like, hey, sweetie, is this brand okay? Yeah, it looks good. Okay, this brand works.
Yeah,
That's it. Just got to please the one person.
yeah.
Sweetie, do you care if I drive a nice car? Not at all. All right,
Great.
good.
Perfect.
Driving a piece of shit then. All right.
Stoner thoughts.
We spend 75% of our life learning how we're going to pay for. We spend 25% of our life learning how we're going to pay for the 75.
What? We spend 25% of our life
Learning how we're going to pay for the 75. So with this one, I think I don't know if they're like referring to trades, like trade schools or like college or what.
Oh, I get it. So like they're saying you go to school for the first 25% of your life to learn how you're going to learn the skill that's going to pay for it.
Right.
They need to reword that. They must have been high when they wrote that.
Yeah, I think so. But I think it's like it's just one of those sayings. It's like, you spend a third of your day asleep, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like you spend a quarter of your life training for what you're going to do the rest of your life or the rest of your work life.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that's not true, because if I just learned what I did in college, I just learned how to drop out of all my jobs.
Well, if you spend 25 years doing anything or 20 years doing anything, you should be pretty good at it.
Yeah,
should be
but
really good at
it wasn't any one thing. Like school isn't any one thing. It's
Right.
all these different. If it was all math or all architecture or all like body shop, then sure you'd be good at it. But it was just like different. It was just like gen ed, general education. So
Who needs that?
who needs
Who needs
that?
to learn to write in cursive?
That's so dead.
Yeah, right?
Stoner thoughts.
We are really lucky that boners don't make noise.
That's very true. That's so funny. There'd be noises all the time, all around you.
Yeah.
I bet you some animal that does make noise. I bet you there's some animal
It's got like a slide whistle
that
boner.
something happens. Yeah. Whoop. Yeah, like the old Bugs Bunny song.
Yeah.
I bet you there.
Or
I
like
mean,
the springy door stopper.
yeah. There's the animal kingdom is so crazy that there's probably something even way more weird than the noise that happens. Like they turn a different color or something.
Well, maybe the animal itself makes the noise.
Right?
Sort of like peacocking. Like, hey,
Yeah, I'm ready.
look at it.
Hey, check it out.
It's right here. Get a gander of this.
No teacher in high school would ever be able to teach without being interrupted every
Every time she turns around.
Yeah, exactly. She's like maybe the hot English teacher or whatever.
Right. Students, we have a new student in the class.
Oh man.
Wow.
Or is there a the noise the opposite when it goes down to boo 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 pom 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 pom
Womp womp womp. Wow.
boner thoughts.
It's funny because we're 12. Oh,
Stoner Thoughts.
I wish Dreams had an autosave feature so when you're woken up in the middle of a good one, you could pick up where you left off the next time you fall asleep.
Like Netflix.
Yeah.
A dream capturer would be amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know how you would do it. I have no idea how you would do it.
I don't know. You'd have to be able to see thoughts, and that's not good.
That's not good at all.
So here's the thing. I never wake up from a dream, and I never wake up from a dream and go, oh man, that dream was so great. I wish that were real. It's always the opposite. Like I wake up from a dream and I'm either neutral, like, oh, that was weird, that was a dream, or I'm like, thank God that was only a dream.
I've had a couple of adult dreams that I've been like,
Oh,
oh
Lord.
yeah, I keep that going.
Oh Lord.
But I feel you on the most part, it's either super weird or bad
Right.
because I don't think I normally don't dream that often, and if I do, I feel like I'm restless when I do, and my mind is restless, and that's what I have a dream about, a nightmare about something or something struck me oddly during the day, and then it just inspired a weird, crazy dream at night.
Yeah. It never happens to me. I'm never like, oh man, in that dream I had $3 billion.
Oh, that'd be so awesome.
Yeah, it never happens. It's always like, man, in that dream I owed $3 billion
Yeah.
somehow.
Those are daydreams.
Yeah. Exactly. Daydreams. Exactly.
Stoner Thoughts.
Mark Zuckerberg always looks like the dude in a zombie movie who's been bitten but is trying to keep it a secret from everybody. That's the best one we've ever had.
He's like 30 minutes in.
Yeah. He's trying to hold it back. He's like sweating. No, I'm fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
I'm fine.
He got bit in the extremity, so it's going to take a while. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't get a neck bite, what'll kill you right
Right.
away.
No, it was just a scratch. I fell.
That's really funny. You look like you got bit by a zombie like 30 minutes ago.
Right.
That's great.
So Fake Actors has a stoner thoughts. Let's read it.
Fake actor?
Stoner
Yeah.
Thoughts.
Fake Actor says, if chili pepper is the spicy of fire, vinegar is the spicy of water, mint is the spicy of ice, and carbonated is the spicy of air.
Okay.
It kind of works.
Yeah. If chili pepper is the spicy of fire, vinegar is the spicy of water. Okay. Yeah. I you know what? I appreciate the effort.
Yeah.
I appreciate.
See, I
the
would have
effort.
started with a real one. I would have said chili pepper is the spicy of vegetable. Like that
Yeah.
kind of thing. Start with one that makes sense, and then you can kind of go off the rails from there.
Yeah. No. Notice we're giving notes on stoner thoughts.
Comedy tips on stoner thoughts. Like, be a better stoner.
Be a better stoner, y'all. Come on, CBD.
So this story is like 3 years old, but I ran across it and I don't know, I was interested in it. Thought we could have fun with it. So these teenagers, about a couple of years back, they invented, it's a conceptual idea, right? They didn't actually go through the motions, but they came up with this concept and they won a tech award, science tech award for it. But they came up with the idea of condoms that change color when they come in contact with an STD.
Whoa, shit.
Right?
Dang.
And they turn a different color depending on which
STD it
STD or STI it is, which bacteria it is.
But okay, but it would only work. What if the dude has so would it be either the man or the female? Would it-
Yeah, I believe so. I believe that's the.
Wow.
It's whenever it comes in contact with the bacteria, it'll change.
How many people just be like, fuck it, I got it on.
Yeah,
I'm good.
It looks like a rainbow blow pop.
Yeah. I'm already in there.
Right, we're
I
already
mean,
doing the thing.
You really can't do anything once you're in there.
Well, you've also invented. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Do you what do you swab your genitals with the condom first to test and then put the condom on?
Right. That was gonna say you've also invented a home STD test. That's pretty accessible to people. You just take the condom and swab yourself, and you go, "Oh, I'm good."
And did it work? This thing worked?
I think I don't know if they ever went into production. They were apparently after they won the tech award, they were approached by different condom companies and stuff.
Wow.
But I don't know if they've ever gone to market. I'm sure it would take a while to test that kind of stuff.
I mean, how awkward is that situation? Where you just out somebody for having HPV or something? Be like, look, the condom doesn't lie, man.
Right.
I don't know. But how do you tell? It's you. No, it's me. No, it's you. No, it's you. It's touching both of us.
Right.
How do you know who it is?
Regardless, you both go to now you got to both go to a doctor.
Right. God. You just what's the bad color? The worst, the HIV or whatever. What's the bad one? What color do you make that? Ugh.
I don't know, man. That got dark pretty quick.
Yeah.
The HIV color.
Ugh.
Is that a green or a blue? I can't tell if I have scabies or or AIDS.
I mean, it's still serious. It's not, it's not fatal, and you shouldn't be shunned or anything. But it's definitely would be scary to find that out if you weren't honest with somebody up front. Do you think that if you have a STD and you're about to have protected sex, you're still obligated to tell your partner that you have the STD?
Yeah, if you know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Was there some argument to why that shouldn't be the case?
No, I don't think there's any argument, but I was just I was testing.
Oh, okay. Well,
I bet
yes.
you there's people out there that in the moment feel like it's fine that they don't tell people.
I'm of the opinion that before you become sexually active with someone or before you get into a relationship with them, either one, anything that's going to affect the relationship needs to be brought out up front. I saw an article the other day where it was written from the point of view of I guess it was a trans woman, and the title was yes, I'm trans, and no, I don't have to tell I don't have to tell my sexual partners.
That's rough.
Yeah, and that's a tough one, but at the same time, my mind immediately went to no, I think anything that's going to affect the relationship needs to come out up front before you have sex. Hey, I have STD, or I just got over an STD, or hey, I'm trans, I'm whatever. Not that those are the same thing, but you get my point.
Sure.
This is important information that your partner might want to know.
I think that that's good in theory. I would argue that happens very rarely.
Maybe, but I think it's deceptive otherwise. Or hey, I'm married.
Oh, well, yeah, sure.
Well, okay, so if you have to tell people that you're married, then why wouldn't you tell people that you're trans?
I'm not arguing.
It feels dishonest if you don't.
Well, because yes. I think that being married, though, holds by law. There's laws about adultery that
I mean,
affect a lot of things.
I don't know.
But who knows? But yeah, that's besides
in Saudi Arabia, maybe.
Sure. But yeah, I think. But if you're look, if we get married, I'm gonna have a prenup. Do you have to say that before you have sex?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're not there yet.
Yeah.
But if it's important stuff, hey,
I never.
We might be cousins. I think you should say that up front.
I just did a little digging, and there's some evidence that we may be cousins.
Right.
Man. Yeah, I mean, I feel like you want to be as upfront as you possibly can, and it's been a long time since I've been in that situation, but I assume it's not that easy when you're getting caught up in the lust of the Tinder date, and you know better than me. These Tinder dates go all the way all the time.
Yeah, but look, no one ever said it's going to be easy. It wouldn't be easy telling someone hey, I'm HIV positive. Do you want to keep dating? Hey, I have herpes, whatever.
But what if
I don't know the different
Yeah,
herpes, but
I think that though, like if I wouldn't. Sex is one thing. Yeah, you're saying before sex, but so say say I'm HIV positive,
hmm
and I want to get to know a person, and it's not the very first thing I want to say about myself on the first date or the second date. We don't end up being physically active, not but then we start to like each other, and I say on the fourth and fifth date, hey, this is the situation. If I was on the other side of that, I don't think I would hold that against the person for waiting a little while to tell me that, because if we hadn't done anything that put me at risk, you know, like I would understand being like, look, this is a this has a stigma behind it. This scares people away all the time.
yeah,
This makes me feel alone. Uh, like I'm telling you now, and I would understand that. I think.
sure.
It would,
But before you become sexually active,
I think so. Yeah.
I think I think you pretty much got to put anything that could cause the other person to go, you know what, this is not for me.
Yeah.
Any kind of history, like are you married? Do you have any STDs? Things like are you that you're trans? I think that's relevant to
I do
to your
too.
to your
Yeah.
partner to your partner's interest.
Yeah. And look, if that person's not cool with it, they weren't going to be cool with it anyway. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, it's not like you're gonna sell them on it. I don't think. Maybe I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, interesting. But so back to the condom. I'm so interested in how you tell who's causing it to change.
I don't think you do with the condom. I think you go to the doctor after that.
You're like, it's one of us.
Yeah, I mean that's not a situation anyone would want to be in, but certainly if you're in that situation, you go to the doctor.
Wow.
Certainly.
Ain't science a thing? I mean, but that's also brilliant.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. As soon as you said that, I was like, oh my God, how did nobody think of that before? You know? And if not that technology, you could put that on anything. Home STD test. Home STD test. Easy. Well, that's probably how you do it. You put it on yourself. Say you're the dude.
Mhm.
You put it on yourself. See if anything happens. You're pretty clear. Then you go over, to the lady's house, the dude's house. Then all of a sudden it shows up. You're like, hey, look, here's physical proof. Here's a photo of my dick with the
Right.
condom on. No color. Wow.
I mean, yeah, or whatever. I mean, to me, like, other than so if I were in a dating situation, I don't think I would buy these condoms or anything like that. I think I would just go to the doctor regularly, like you're supposed to, and get checked because that's a little more private. I think the last thing you want is to reveal to a potential partner
Right.
that, like, oh, hey, one of us is infected. Hope it's you and not me.
Did you have to, like, when you were on the dating scene, would you have to go to the doctor after every person?
I mean, yeah, technically.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not gonna make it sound like I was like doing people left and right, but like, yeah, once you have a partner, you go
Yeah.
to the doctor and get that's what you're supposed to do.
Do you get a card? Like, here's my card. Here it's
A punch card, like like I get a free Subway sandwich.
Yeah, it's got like like when they clean the bathrooms in a gas station, like it's like a little signature behind the time. Like you get a doctor and he signs it off, and then you show your date. You're like, hey, I went. Here I am, clean. Let me see yours.
Right. People are
Uh,
people are discussing the whole trans thing in the chat. I can see them.
yeah,
Someone's asking, how does being trans affect a relationship? Same way that being married affects a relationship. It's a deal breaker for some. It just
yeah,
is. It's
yeah.
information that they might want. I think the same thing with like if you have a like I don't want to put everyone in the same category, but like if you have a severe mental illness or something, like you're extremely
If
bipolar.
you're an alcoholic,
There you go. If you're yeah, right, if you're a really really bad alcoholic, I think that should come out. Like, hey, I got this problem, I'm working on it, or I got this problem, I'm not working on it. It's not going to come out. No one's going to say that, but I think it should.
yeah,
I think it should. Anything that's going to cause the other person to go, you know what? Had I known that, I wouldn't have done this.
I'm with you, but that when you say it like that, though, it starts to become a really long tail because, like, what else do you tell them? Hey, I snore. Hey, I'm vegan. Like,
Sure.
how many of these things? How
Oh, a
much?
vegan will tell you regardless.
Hey, I run marathons.
Yeah.
How many things can you really say bad about yourself and still try to make yourself look as attractive as possible. You know, like you're trying to put your best foot forward. There's a million things you could say that are bad about you. You know, when I get angry, I raise my voice sometimes. When I'm cheap sometimes.
If you think it's going to affect the relationship, yeah.
But everything affects the relationship.
If
you're in
you
a
think she's going to
relationship-
have a problem with you raising your voice, if you're on your first date and she says, "You know what? I can't stand guys who raise their voice when they get mad," and then you withhold that information from her, you're the asshole.
sure,
That is your opportunity.
but do you go down a list? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
We're making a list.
sure.
All right.
The grocery list of all of your faults.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like a great way to hit things off.
Well, like I'm not going to have kids, and that was something I would bring up early on.
Needs to be brought up.
Yeah, and like, why? Because I feel like that could affect the relationship. That
Especially at this age.
yeah, that especially in your 30s, that could cause your potential partner to go, man, had I known that you didn't want kids, I wouldn't have been with you. Like, I wouldn't have dated you.
I wouldn't have wasted my
Wouldn't
time
have
on
wasted
you,
the time
I'm in
getting
my
to like you.
prime
That's
years.
important.
Yeah.
That's important. But that's my, whatever. That's my theory on it, and I guess I could be swayed the other direction.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
There are some
I think
things-
honesty's good.
Yeah, honesty's good, and I don't think you're gonna like sell somebody on some things that just doesn't sit right with them. Maybe, but if you all of a sudden find that someone is not what you thought, but then that just opens up the can of worms of like, I am what you thought. What you're putting these prejudices on me, not me. You have opinions about this thing that I think is completely fine and normal, and that that's on you.
But that's what a relationship is. It's a collection of opinions that two people have about one another, and
Yeah.
and the things that they do. See what I'm saying?
Sure. So buy condoms that change when you get STDs.
So, like, if you were Canadian and you never told me,
right. That's funny.
but that's it. That's all the stories we got today.
Wow. High and tight, guys.
Yeah.
High and tight. Well, thanks so much for joining us, you guys. This is the Kings of Influence. We're here every Wednesday. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. And feel free to share the podcast on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. You can find us anywhere you find podcasts. And if you want to get a text from us when we're about to go live each week, text the word Kings to the number 43506. And we also, incidentally, have a phone number that you can call. If you guys have questions for us, we give advice sometimes on the podcast, which is really fun. If you have a question you want to ask us about life, the business, relationships, whatever, what's that number?
Oh.
The 800 number?
Yeah, let me find it.
I should know this. I'll vamp. So we're going to give you a number in a second, but just leave your name, let us know how old you are, and try to tell a story like, a minute, 2 minutes. That way we can play it back on the podcast.
Son of a bitch, I can't find it.
Well, we'll put it in the description of.
Okay, here it is.
We got it.
321-222-3179.
There it is. One more time.
321-222-3179. Oh, sound effects are going off. 321-222-3179.
Right on. Cool. Well, groovy. That is our show for today. I am Epic Lloyd.
And I'm Ray William Johnson. Stick around for the Chizza. So tacky. Chizza in the house. Right.
Quickly becoming
Woo.
podcast dog.
Right.
FOMO. Fear of
Missing owner.
missing owner.
What's up, guys?
What's up, y'all?
Hot back here in the
Oof.
back house.
I'm so sorry. Just move on, Tony. She couldn't handle it.
Oh, wow, they're having some deep conversations in
All right.
the chat about
on.
what to reveal to your partner and what not.
Uh-oh.
I
Bummer.
think I don't know, man. I think in general, a lot of things aren't people's business, aren't anyone else's business. Fuck these people. They don't need to know if you're an alcoholic. They don't need to know if you're trans. They don't even know if you're married. If you don't want to tell them, fuck them. However, when two people sleep together, suddenly a lot more things become their business. A lot more things become relevant.
You have an exchange of fluids. Yeah. especially if you have something that someone else can get.
Correct.
You know, if you if you have, I don't know, herpes or something like that, you know, like even kissing someone can affect them in that way. Like, I think you have to have a sore on your mouth or somehow, but you have to like, I don't know, it's just responsible. It doesn't surprise
Right.
me that a lot of people aren't responsible. You're 100% you don't want to have kids. It means you have a vasectomy. I don't think you need to have a vasectomy if you just don't want to have kids. There's
Right.
no reason to have a vasectomy if you just have sex in the right way. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
use protected sex is, you don't need to like a vasectomy is expensive and not very comfortable.
Right.
I don't know
Also,
that-
there's takes two people to have a kid, so the partner can get
Yeah.
something if they want to get something.
for sure. Whichever one is the most easy.
Whatever's the
and
easiest.
reversible,
Yeah.
if you wanted.
Yeah.
I think some of them are reversible. I think they're both reversible, to be honest. with you.
I think vasectomies are reversible. I don't know about the whatever the female equivalent of that is.
I do know a guy that got a
Tube side.
vasectomy when he was like 30 years old. He was just like,
Good for
yeah,
him.
I'm not trying to do this. I'm just gonna handle this
He's
now.
gonna get a dog,
Like, damn, that is some commitment. Wow.
and he still doesn't have kids, huh?
No, still doesn't. There you go.
Nice.
What does he say? If they will make an O face when they hear you should tell them. I don't know what.
Yeah, I don't know what that
I'm
means.
saying.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what I'm saying. How you guys all doing in the chat today?
Yeah.
Everybody good? Where's everybody from?
You're a wonderful audience,
You're a very wonderful audience.
ladies and germs.
Yeah. Somebody said he's from Ireland. I thought I heard Ireland. Someone backed into my truck and fled just
Oh,
now.
shit.
That sucks.
That's awful.
I have a question. Why do people judge other people for having a mental illness?
People judge other people for everything.
Yeah.
I mean, in reality.
Yeah. I judge people for like the groceries they buy.
I judge people for parking outside the lines.
Yeah. I'm doing a thing on Facebook where I judge people for the type of improv comedy they perform.
Exactly.
So you can judge people on anything.
Yeah, it doesn't make it okay. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
Because that's what people do.
Denmark, San Diego, Nashville, New York City, New Zealand. Hell yeah.
Nice.
America. I was pissed off at her ex, not her. Oh, that's something different. Chicago. What up? Doing good. It's hot in Texas.
Yeah, I
Everybody's
bet it is
all
hot in
over the
Texas.
world, man.
Yeah.
This is craziness. Ohio.
Got that international appeal, Lloyd.
I love it. Canada. Oh, California. Macedonia. Oh yeah, Aurora. I think we've heard from him before.
Macedonia?
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
kicking it. O face is just a surprise face. Oh, that's not what I think about when I think of O face.
Yeah, I don't remember what the original comment was, so.
Yeah. Could be.
Trucker gang. What up, Bear
Trucker
Bear
gang?
Brad? Listening to Iowa heading to Omaha, Nebraska. I
Oh,
played both of those cities.
Omaha's dope. I was just there a couple of weeks ago, maybe months ago. It was a surprisingly cool city.
What, Omaha?
Omaha.
Yeah, I bet.
It was surprisingly cool and cultured and big. And just good Midwestern people.
Yeah, everyone there was talking about football when I went.
Yeah. makes
Yeah,
sense.
because it was Nebraska.
The what's that? Sweden? Sweet, dude. I love Sweden.
Sweden. Sweet on Sweden.
Sweet on Swede.
Sweet on Sweden. I'll have to go there one day.
Yeah. When we take the podcast on the road.
All right. Doing we tore it around. Just Sweden.
Just Sweden.
Where do you guys go? Just Sweden.
It's
Every
funny.
city in Sweden. It's our Sweden tour.
Yeah. Favorite band is from Canada. Who's your favorite band?
Are bands
Bare
still
Naked
around?
Ladies. Bare Naked Ladies.
Is that your favorite band?
I don't know. I was just wondering. They're a band from Canada. I know that.
Nickelback's from Canada.
Nickelback. Want to hear the fastest Nickelback impression?
Go for it.
Dirt.
Is that it? I could have sworn that was Metallica. Yeah. Nga. Gary is married this month and only had super bubbles. Only had sex with him. Call in and ask us that.
call in
super
and give
bubbles.
us that super bubbles. Don't blow it. Call us on that 323 number or whatever.
And many people think I'll regret it. Fuck those people.
Can you put it in the? Can you put that number in the comments there?
Yes. I think when I type hold on. Let me try to do it.
Oh, we're getting crazy.
I know. Look at us.
Katie, Katie's missing today. Katie is on a work trip / vacation trip. She'll be back in a few weeks.
Yes.
But she sends her regards.
When I press the numbers, it wants to play the sound effects. So. All right. There's the number.
There's the number. Call that Bubbles.
I didn't know bands were still a thing. Not, I mean, I'm not trying to knock bands, but it seems like it's like all SoundCloud rap and
Dude, honestly,
DJs
I think that is a product of living in LA.
of no bands.
Of living in LA. Yeah, the music here is all very star based. There's no local scene. There's no touring scene really. Like it's all like the famous people on videos. But like when you go out, like I was in Wyoming and you go on the radio and everything's different. Everything, like the songs are different. Everything's a lot of like heavy metal bands out there, you know. So I think they still exist. Just it doesn't feel like that in
I was
LA.
gonna say, where do they have local bands anymore?
I mean, cities, you know, Omaha, for example, you know,
Right.
they got like a band scene there.
I mean, that's cool. I'm not trying to knock it or anything. That's
Yeah.
just
Just an interesting thing.
I'm trying like what's a band that didn't come out before 7 years ago? You know,
Yeah.
it'd have to be locally. 'Cause
Well,
Like-
no,
like
the
rock
Avett
music just
Brothers,
isn't-
Those are along. Those are. Yeah, yeah. You're right. I mean,
rock
this-
music just isn't carrying the same weight it used to.
Yeah, it's not like you can't get a tattoo on your face as easy.
Right. You can't get a tattoo on your face as easy.
All right. Yeah. Prayers for Arizona, man. I didn't hear about that fire yet, but
Yeah, what's going on?
sounds like there's some crazy shit going on over
What's
there.
going on there? There's a fire in Arizona.
I don't know. What about Slipknot hitting #1 trending with Unsainted? Yeah, see that's what I'm talking about. These heavy metal bands.
Yeah, but they didn't. As I was saying, a band that came out in the last 7 years.
Oh yeah, they're very old.
Like Slipknot's old. Like yeah, of course. Like the Rolling Stones still tour. Yeah, there are
Sure.
bands from the past that are still around. I'm talking about now.
I think they're still a thing. Just head down to Broadway. Tempe, Arizona has got an epic music scene. Yeah, I feel you there.
That's cool.
Chicago's got a good music scene too.
I can imagine Chicago having a good music scene.
All right. Well,
What are these-
that's good for this week, I think. You guys.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah.
Sweating.
Yeah.
But guys, it was really good to see you. Thanks for coming out to your laptop and supporting us.
Yeah.
And we will see you next week.
All right.